Yes, Reds, how are we? Thought we'd do a little catch up this morning, since we're all fucking knackered after watching that. But I hope you boys are all right. Ross, how are you?
Yeah, mate, not too bad. Just getting on with life because the football's not treating us well at the minute. So, yeah, I'm as good as I can be at the minute. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Oh, mate. Mo, do you know what, lad? You know, feel for you today, lad, after that drive you did yesterday. Tell the people who don't know, mate, where you drove from yesterday to go and watch that.
So basically, I live way down south in Portsmouth. So I left at 11:45 yesterday morning. Got to where I park at 6:25. So because it was roads closures and accidents galore, so 6 hours it took me.
Yeah.
And obviously watched that shit show. There's no other way of saying it. And then drove back with more road closures. Didn't get in till 3 a.m. So I'm currently filling in my refund form for Arne Slot. I want my refund. So I don't know if he's going to give it to me, but I'm certainly sending the form out to him.
I don't know whether I'd want the money or the time back, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got a good few in the chat already, and obviously a few people watching. Smash a like and subscribe. Soft lads back. How are you, lads? At least you're in the comments doing us a favour anyway. Hit the like, lads, because obviously it's comedy watching us at the minute, innit? So I suppose you're the one that feels all right anyway. Callum's in the house, lads. He's like hard jinx at the minute. But I hope you're all right, lads, anyway. I'm not back home at the minute. I'm currently in the Middle East, so 12 o'clock I had to stay up to watch that last night, and it's not good enough. Ross, you haven't been on for a bit. You've been busy with whatnot.
Yeah.
That's not good enough last night, lads, is it?
None of it's been good enough, if I'm honest, mate, for the past near enough 2 months. Do you know what I mean? It's shocking. I'm struggling to find positivity on the pitch at the minute. It's just, mate, lost for words with it. I can't remember a time we've been this bad, even during our phases before where we had like 4 losses. But I'm struggling to see it, and I love this club. Don't get me wrong. I don't ever want to wish bad on this club, but I'm really struggling to see how we get out of this, especially with the next couple of games coming out. I'm going to Villa on Saturday. I got a similar drive to Mo. I was up there for United, drove 8 hours in a car to go watch our performance, and it's difficult at the minute, mate. Very difficult.
As I say, look, shout out to Ivan as well. Lad, you may as well wind us up, lad, because it may cheer us up, to be honest.
We need something, mate. We need something.
We need something to go at. But look, shout out to all the boys in the chat. I know a few of you were at the match last night. I know Wezzo was there. I don't know if Zach was there. I know LB was there. So how are you? I'm sure Dicko was there. What's that? Fucking hell. They're all coming for us here. Morning all. This has put tremendous pressure on Saturday. If there isn't a performance and win, the noises will get louder and louder. They will. Look, smash a like, subscribe if you just join them. I wanted to, unfortunately, put the fucking lineup on. So, this was the lineup last night. I'd seen it throughout the day, and I know a few people will have as well. But obviously, Woodman in goal, Ramsey right back. Who actually, I thought he did all right, to be fair. You had Gomez, Robbo, Kirkes, Macha, Endo, Trainioni, Rio, Chiesa, Morrison. Look, I can more understand the lineup a bit more. If you're thinking at least usually you think there'll be something off the bench to give these kids a bit of a motivation. Obviously, there's some of them fucking senior players in that lineup must have been like, what am I doing out here in the piss and down rain? Do you know what I mean? It's like fucking lambs to the slaughter a bit. But when I seen the bench, I'll just put the bench up for a minute. Gordon, Laffy, Coney Doherty, Lucky. Fucking hell, he was unlucky, weren't he? Pexy, Pennington, Figueroa, Pilling. Am I missing anyone off that?
I couldn't tell you if you have or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, do you know what, right? I can understand prioritising a few of the some of the first team players not playing in the 11. But there's got to be something off the bench. I don't care. For me, he looked like he threw the game. Either took a 1-0 defeat if he didn't have to play last night, Slot. That's how I felt. You knew straight away we weren't going to win that. I know the league and that's more important. And it is. We understand that. But no manager should ever throw a game for Liverpool. Certainly not when they've lost 5 and 6. Not on Anfield, Ross. Not on Anfield. And I can see some of the, the comments here. Wezzo, pardon me, slot through the kids under the bus. Ivan's here saying he regrets spending all that money on Isak instead of getting a centre mid and centre back. Centre back was meant to come anyway, lads. Centre midfield meant to be seen. Seems like we're scared to buy one. I don't regret spending the money on Isak. He's just he will be ready eventually, won't he? You know that. Nick saying, do we read anything into the change in formation last night, or was just throw that team out and see what they do? And Wezzo saying, got to have some sort of backup on the bench. Look, I agree, Ross. He can go on all he wants, the manager. He's prioritising the weekends. Worried about injuries. But why are you playing the two fucking left backs together?
It's madness, mate. Especially with the injuries that we've got at the back already. We're light on centre backs. If Robbo or Kirkes gets injured, who do we have come in to cover them? Do you know what I mean?
Are you playing all three centre backs then, aren't you?
Well, this is it. I appreciate Endo has to get some minutes, Gomez has to get some minutes, but like the left back selection last night with Kirkes, and it was a 3 at the back, or well 5 at the back most of the game with defending and whatever it was. And I thought we started well. Let's mention that. I thought we did start quite well. I thought it was energetic. I thought the passes were a bit more crisp, like going to their man and everything. It was good, but ultimately, when you field a team like that, and Palace fielded the team they did, it was always going to come back and bite us in our ass. But yeah, I think that the left back selection of Kirkes and Robbo both on the pitch was odd, really odd. And I know there was a comment there saying about reading into the formation and so on. I have no idea what Arne Slot is going to do. I don't know. I think we'll see a tried and trusted. It's not trusted at the minute, let's be honest. But we'll revert back to our 4-2-3-1, is it, on the weekend? And
fuck knows, lad. 4-2-4.
Yeah, nobody knows.
This is it. No one knows.
It's like a pick and mix, isn't it?
Well, this is it. We've lost our identity, haven't we? We're kind of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what works at the minute. We played a 4-2-4 a couple of games back, didn't we? So it's hard to judge. I genuinely don't know which direction it's going to go. It's really difficult to work out whether we're going to be good, whether we're going to be bad, whether players are going to turn up. It's madness, absolute madness. I can't remember the last time I felt this way supporting the club, and I suppose that shows how successful we have been. But I don't know. It's difficult at the minute.
Do you know what? I thought a few players have looked all right. I know Kirkes is going to get some shit again. Where's O'Shane? He's the left back version of Nunes. But he's just not helping the lads, I don't think. You know what I mean? The change in his role in the team is just constantly changing. He's never going to get any rhythm at Liverpool if this carries on. So I do feel sorry for him. A few people, we've got a few fucking clowns in the chat as well, saying some of the 6 games are the best he's ever seen or whatever. I didn't be asked to talk to him, fucking clown. No, but you know what? Ramsey was that was a good little performance from him last night. Rio looks a player. I think he's got to release the ball a bit quicker than me. You can see he is a talent. But like Chiesa, mate, never give up last night. And that must have been do you know what, mate? He's been crying out for his start, and then the manager gives him that sort of game, lad. And it's just like, he's never going to get anywhere at Liverpool if this carries on, is he?
No, and you got to feel for him, because I was there last night, and like, go with Ross, the first 9 minutes, I haven't seen us press like that all season. It was really good.
You said it in the Anfield Index group, didn't you?
Yeah, I said it was good pressing. It was good. But then ultimately, when you, like Ross says, when you field a team of youngsters, I noticed on the pitch small things like, and that's just experience from the Palace players who've played, been around the game, how they position their body, how they do a little nudge off the ball, just to unbalance players, and it worked. They just not bullied us, but they were just more experienced all over the pitch.
But this is it. Like, they didn't have to really go too hard in the game, did they?
No, they were in total.
On every ball, second ball, a lot, weren't they?
No, and there's a few things in life which is set, and that's death, taxes, and Sarr scoring against us. He did it against us in his Watford days, and he's continued with Palace days now. So, look, we started well, but then as soon as we conceded, as a young team, confidence dropped a bit, and then as soon as the second went in, I think around the ground everyone knew like it was that
Game over.
was game done. And then going back to the starting selection, like I've been going to Anfield now for over 25 years. I'm in my late 40s now, you know. I've never seen such a subdued opening as in from the crowd, because I think the way I put it is we looked at the team, everyone, and think, oh, hang on, are we actually trying here tonight? You know what I mean?
Well, they weren't, were they?
It was even a subdued, you know, you never walk alone a little bit, like, you know. And I thought, if we're not up for it, then how are the players going to be up for it? And why should we be up for it if Slot's not up for it? And that's
the fucking manager wasn't asked for it last night. That's
got
what I was fucked up with that, Mo.
Exactly.
You know, I can take a defeat, lad.
Yeah, same here. But it's the way you
throw the towel in before the ball's kicked.
Exactly. And there's 60,000 fans there. So even I got an example. One of my mates went. I sorted him out some tickets, like, and he took his son and his daughter for the very first time. He spent 90 minutes explaining to his son, 7-year-old, why Mo Salah is not going to be on the pitch, why these players are not going to be on the pitch. You know, it's like I understand the changes, but not having a bench of any first team, it is literally like a comment throwing the kids under the bus and going out to sending the team out to lose. You know, so yeah, I got some disappointments with that for sure.
Yeah, you know, well, Callum always says, Ross, you know, we always seem to get a big result in a bad patch. I do agree with that. He said Nick said Macher looked a bit better last night. Look, if you just joined us, smash a like, subscribe, make sure you follow the lads as well. Ross, well, look, what he's done is he's amplified the pressure now on himself. But what I can't understand as well, Ross, is how people are fucking just going sound that last night. That's sound. No, it's not. Liverpool have lost 6 in fucking 7 now. And it's not like we're walking and playing fucking Accrington Stanley on the weekends, you know what I mean? That Emery will fucking be selling them. Just sit in and let's see how Liverpool fucking get on with it. Because we'll just frustrate ourselves at the minute, Ross. I just think he's just... If there weren't people, I am more fucked off with them than ever right now, lads. Do you know what I mean? I just think he took the piss out a bit of the players. Certainly took the piss out of the fucking fans as well, mate, last night. Like, you should never do that anyway. No manager should ever be throwing games, certainly not when they'd going into the game with 5 defeats in 6. That's not acceptable, that. And I don't know how people are fucking saying that sound either.
The thing is, it can be like in certain situations you can forgive a weakened team. If you're fighting for a league title, you know, let's say for instance we was 1 point behind Arsenal, our Champions League games were going well. I think all of us as fans would forgive a weakened team at that stage. But
if we were playing, I could deal with the weakened team, lad. If fucking on the weekend we were in a fucking Champions League final.
Well, this is it. This is the thing. I think we can forgive it in certain circumstances. But as you said, we've lost an extreme amount of games at the minute. And let's be honest, Palace is a team that we owed a game to. Out of anyone. They had beaten us already twice this season. We owed Palace a game. And you have a look following the result last night, like the Palace social media team mocking us. You have
San fucking Marino mocking us.
San Marino, that's the one.
Do you know what I mean? It's really hard to get your head around, and we needed a win. We needed something to catapult us. And I thought the United game, I thought the other games would be the ones to do it, but I thought Palace last night, we needed to go strong. We needed to build some momentum, and because you fielded the team you have, you're spot on, Ben. It amplifies the Villa game now. Yeah. You can't rest near enough.
Any more pressure on himself either.
No, this is it. If you come out of that Villa game on Saturday without a win, it's a failure. It's a flat out failure. You can't rest those players and then turn up Saturday and get anything less than a win. It's just not acceptable.
I'd go as far as that. I'd go as further than that, Ross. I'd go the next 3 games have to be wins, because you've sacrificed the trophy for what, 1 game against Villa? No, it needs to be more for me. It needs to be the next 3 games. I need to see some W's, you know? And that's just my opinion.
Players after you're resting them and all that. Fucking hell, mate. They're fully rested as it is because they've hardly been running around the fucking pitch due to his tactics and shit.
Yeah, how can you justify getting knocked out of a cup just to get 3 points against Villa? It needs to be more. Like I said, it's not a cup final on the weekend. If we were fighting for a cup final, I understand it. It's just a league game. Let's face what it is. Like, it's a league game. So I need to see the next 3 games wins, to be honest, to justify what happened last night.
And this will define our season, though, won't it? This next 3 games, I think.
100%.
This will define, and I think it'll define Arne's slot in terms of like a Liverpool manager. as to whether this can actually be turned around. Because let's be real, if we lose to Villa, we lose to City, we lose to Madrid.
He's gone.
I can't. I want him to succeed. There's no manager.
I want him to succeed, but he's really testing my fucking patience.
Yeah, we all do. We all want him to succeed, but yeah.
You know, look, more people are just, and I could see more people that weren't slot out yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And the same they're done with him now. I'll be honest, right? I just don't see how he's going to turn this round now, because by the time he potentially could turn it around, then players will be like, get out, you fucking divvy. Do you know what I mean? They'll be fucking finished with him. Do you know what I mean? You know, what's it? Look at the state of Robbo's face when he came off that pitch yesterday. He was like, what the fuck am I doing out here? Regardless, do you know what I mean? You know, he's threw them all under the bus. Give them something off the bench. Because I'm not being funny, right? I don't give a shit what anyone says, right? And I know you've got people online going, well, fucking, you know, I'm a bigger fan or better fan than such and such. They're all chatting fucking shite. At the end of the day, right, Liverpool could have used that as a bit of a momentum. No one's expecting them to go 11 out of 11 fucking first teamers on the pitch. I wasn't expecting that, but I was expecting a fair few of them to at least be involved at some point. I'm not being funny, but I think they were shite as well yesterday, by the way. They were there to be fucking beaten. If the kids were having a little bit of a go at them at times, fucking hell, 3 or 4 on the bench would have fucking ran all over them. Because I'm not being funny, like, Mo, you were there yesterday, and you could hear the crowd at times trying to get them up for it. Do you know, we would have got a goal just after half-time. The crowd would have pulled another goal.
100%.
And do you know, if Liverpool would have got a 3-2 win over them, you better believe the Villa game would be such a different scenario. You know, Ross, this Liverpool fan base at the minute, certainly at Anfield, after getting beat by Man United, they're crying out for a good performance now. He has no excuse but to fucking have them lads running through walls for him. And I do doubt that, Ross. I'm unsure whether they're fucking taking him serious at the minute, some of these players, because we don't go through runs like this, lads.
Well, you made a good point in the group chat a little while ago about Klopp had those certain types of players that would go to war for him, the Hendos and so on. And I don't see a player in this current squad that would go to maybe war for Arne's slot. I don't know. Maybe it's a different type of connection, because Klopp was very close to the fan base that bought him a lot of goodwill, let's be honest, which Arne hasn't got. But any time we step out at Anfield, that's our home. We need to perform regardless. And Mo, you made a good point earlier about the crowd being deflated. Football and being at your home stadium is that the kind of the players get the fans up, but then the fans get the players up. If nothing's happening on the pitch, we know, right? Like Anfield is a great place for atmosphere. But I think we can all agree we've been at games where the atmosphere can be a little bit timid and it's like nothing's happening. And it's because nothing happens on the pitch. It's a relationship
as well, haven't you?
This is it. It's a relationship between the players and the fans. The players have got to do something. I remember a perfect game for this. We played Arsenal, and I think it was 0-0 at the time. And do you remember Klopp and Arteta had a little spat on that?
Kicked the game off,
ignited it, yeah.
Ignited it. And we're not having anything like that at the minute. That United performance was one of the worst I've ever seen us against United. They passed rings around us. They were direct. They were getting stuff done.
And they're fucking crap.
They're awful. They're absolutely awful. And the thing is, we've contributed to their success a little bit now in terms of they're building their way back up. Whether they'll last, we don't know. But we contributed towards that. Beating your rivals at their home ground, that is a huge confidence boost. And we can't beat anyone.
Have his picture in a gold fucking frame going, look, this fella's kickstarted our fucking season here. What a fella he is. Fucking slot all over the walls, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not being funny. You know, Dick O'Zee is saying, most Stafford people, yesterday was the first time in over 100 years we've lost 6 of our 7 games in all competitions. Like, I get it. Some competitions, you know, there's different priority. Of course there is. Do you know what I mean? Liverpool's favourite is to go for the Premier League and the Champions League. But also, when you're under the Cosmo, you don't just throw a fucking game, do you?
I just think there's signs of pressure, and it's been building up way before start of the season. You know, back end of last season, some of his press conferences were a bit spiky. Now it's full on. Some of the things he's saying is like stuff Roy Hodgson or Brendan Rodgers would say, like, you know, some of the excuses, like, I just feel like he's unraveling a little bit because of the pressure. It's the first time he's been under any kind of pressure in his Liverpool tenure, and he's folded like a pack of cards so far. So it's not a good sign. But I want him to succeed. I want him to turn it around. But I don't see him adding more pressure onto this Villa game now, not just for himself, but for the 11 players he picks as well. You know, and 6 of the last 7. When do we draw the line as fans? Where is that line? Does that go to 10 losses, and then we say it needs to change? So we need to be realistic here. We are Liverpool Football Club. We're not anyone. We're the biggest club in Britain, almost in the world as well. Like, where does that line stop for people? That's what I want to know. Like, yes, I'm going to back Slot, and I've given him until the international break in my head. But for me, if there's not 3 wins in the next 4, he has to go for me. So, look, there's so many things wrong. There's so many things you can chop up from 3-4-3. Why did he do that yesterday against kids? And why didn't he try it before? And we all know he's going to revert back to the same formation as on the weekend. Why didn't he have a bench? Even before that, I also think you need to throw some shade not shade, but point a finger or two at the people at the top who recruited. Klopp's interview said that they all sit down together and they all go through players together, so I don't think that's going to change. They probably still do the same, but in this occasion, Slot has less say over it, maybe, I think, than Klopp. Klopp would have put his foot down and said, no, I'm not having him.
Head coach, Annie. That's a big difference in manager.
So he's been told to coach, but I don't think he's been given the right profile players in some areas. And we've abandoned having a 6 for the last 2 years since we got rejected by Casado, and that's really coming back to bite us on the arse at the moment. Look, there's so many things that I'm annoyed with, but I just want to see a reaction on Saturday. But deep down, I don't think I'm going to get it, man.
Just to mention something about Mo, you said about the profile of players though, because I was having this discussion with one of the boys in the group about, they were saying, Liverpool have recruited bad, and I was trying to say I don't think we've recruited bad. The caliber of player, I think, is elevated in terms of what we're buying. The likes we've gone out for Isak and
the bigger names aren't,
They are, and I think the Isak and Ekatike situation was unique. Once Isak did what he did in terms of not going to training, we could have never backed out with that deal. That's a fact. We would have looked silly. We left the players stranded, so we had to go through with it. But I think in terms of the caliber of player we've bought, I think they're very good. Like, we look at Kirkes, right? He's been performing badly for us. He's been shifted around, but he was arguably one of the better left backs in the league last year.
Well, he was in the team of the year, wasn't he?
Yeah, but in that Bournemouth setup, though, isn't it? I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying they're bad players. They're very good players, and they've improved our squad. For the system, that Slot, whatever system that is, they're the wrong profile players. When have you seen Kirkes invert for Bournemouth?
This is where I can't blame any of the players myself. Early on in the season, I thought, 1 or 2 players are playing bad here. They need to step up. But as the season's gone on, I'm looking at it. I'm like, Kirkes is playing bad and he's a scapegoat at the minute. But I genuinely, from my perspective, I can't blame any of the players.
No, I'm not blaming the players, Ross. I said I'm blaming the recruitment.
The people at the
players.
top.
Yeah, they've obviously sat down and said, look, this is what there's an opportunity here for Frimpong. There's an opportunity here for Kirkes. There's an opportunity here for Wirtz. Let's sit down. Can you make this work slot? Arne's probably such a young manager and hasn't got that.
He's never going to turn his nose away at some of these signings, is he?
Exactly. He's not going to say no. Where someone like Klopp would have said, no, actually, for my system, what I want to do, he's not the right profile. He's not the right profile. Let's try and think about it. And they'd have an argument about it. Of course they would. Slot is probably just a yes man at the moment. And he probably just said, yes, I'll do it. I'll make it work. And he can't find. He's even admitted he can't get a solution for it at the moment. So I'm just saying the wrong profile. And look, yes, Isak will come great. I have no doubt in that. Okay. All right. I'm not putting any shade on Isak. Isak's an amazing finisher. If you gave me the choice, I would have gone for someone who presses a bit more and finishes like Julian Alvarez or someone like that. Okay. Well, another thing, we didn't know how good Ekatike would turn out as well. And I don't think the board and even Slot knew how good Ekatike would turn out. And like Ross said, we were pot committed on Isak. So I get that. Wirtz, I think, was an opportunist signing. I think
they could never wait with him either. I think with Isak, it was either now or never, weren't it?
And I think that probably took the focus away from actually getting a number 6, maybe, or a defensive style midfielder.
I'll be honest, Mo. When I look at this team now, right? Look, well, this is probably where the club and the manager aren't getting it right together, because this is not fucking something new that he's played an inverted fucking left back. He was doing it last year. That's why he probably should have started with Robbo. And like fucking, you know, at the time I was thinking he should be playing Kirkers. But when you see a young lad under the pressure that he's having at the minute, he's going to have to go with Robbo because we need a bit of experience back there at the minute. Liverpool just cannot defend for the lads. Another fucking 3 goals like yesterday. And Robbo's in there, Gomez is in there and shit like that. But at the end of the day, I look at this team and I think Mark Gay was going to play left back this year. I really do. I think Kirkers was going to be used off the bench coming into the game. And Robbo like a Swiss Army knife. Do you know what I mean? That's where I think they were going to bolster up the back line. Because let's be honest, the way we go and attack, there's 3 of them at the back. Do you know what I mean? And it would have been Mark Gay, Karate and Van Dijk in there. So I can kind of see that Mark Gay was massive.
That would have been solid.
It would be. And ultimately, lad, one of them can certainly play with the ball. You know, you look at some of the players at the back for Liverpool, they can't play with the ball. And I know Kirkers is getting a lot of shite. But the facts are, he needs to be playing fast football. In the early stages of the game yesterday, he looked all right when the ball was moving quick. When he's fucking stopping and starting all the time at the back, being dead close to Virgil, that is not going to work for him. He needs to be going down the line. But at the minute, we've gone so fucking top heavy. Where's he going to go? Do you know what I mean? Just fucking run to the corner flag. It's just not going to work. I just don't know. It's good players find a way, mate. But ultimately, he's got to find a system that works. I just can't understand what he's even doing at the minute. You know what I mean? Like the other day, there was like fucking 3 at the back and then fucking 5 or 6 of them up. How are you meant to get rid of them in games like that? I just don't know. What I think we're a very easy opposition. And you know, like for instance, over the years with Klopp, I said it a few shows ago. Teams with fucking petrified to go running at Liverpool's backline with Van Dijk and the keeper. And that's why they missed majority of the chances. Now, they've got so much fucking confidence when they go through. They're scoring on the first fucking chances.
It's literally like just attack Liverpool within the first 20 minutes and you get a goal. Do you know what I mean? And that's been repeated throughout the season. And it comes down to like, I think is a few things that have changed that have made us wide open. You know, I was happy with, let's not say happy. I was content with Diaz going in the summer, given the recruitment. But I got to
now
be honest,
when he's fucking banging goals in.
And the energy he brought to that front line as well. Because Mo, you mentioned an excellent point about Isak, and my Newcastle mate, shout out to Fox, he warned me about Isak's pressing. Right, Isak is not a presser.
Yeah,
so
he couldn't press a button.
Well, you know, Diaz played centrally last season, and I think a big reason of that is pressing from the front. And we've lost that. Gakpo doesn't press. Salah doesn't press.
This is it. An amazing point. And I live in, like, every time I have a conversation with my mates on my group, this is the biggest difference. Last year, we had pressing monsters. We had Diaz, Nunes, who would run. Everyone said headless chicken, but no, he would press. He would start the press. He would get everyone else involved. Even Jota as well, rest in peace. They were all pressed to allow Mo to do what he does. Now we've replaced that with people who don't press as intense as that, like, you know, and that's where the midfield feel, we need to press now, and there's so many gaps, and there's just no communication. Like, it all starts from the press in the front, and we just haven't got that kind of player up there, in my opinion.
And it's that tactical shift as well, moving Grav from that kind of defensive-minded role to a free role. I just don't think you can have that when you've lacked the press up top now.
100%.
And then you've got both wing backs bombing forward. It's football suicide. That's at least how I view it, because they get past the first line easy, right? You've then got a double pivot that is, you know, trying to chase the game. Let's be honest, Maka isn't someone who chases the ball a lot. Grav isn't someone who chases the ball a lot. I feel if you're going to play that double pivot and not really press from the front, you need a player that is like a Jack Russell, just going to run about that pitch.
Well, that's why Casado was a big loss for them. Do you know what I mean? A few years ago.
Yeah.
But we've abandoned that player since that, though. That's what I don't get. 2 years ago, we put 115 million bid in for Casado, and then we tried to get Lavia. You know,
Zubimendi.
And what? We just forget about that now, do we? That's what I don't get. Like,
I don't know, lad. It's hard to put your finger on it. Look, if you're just joining us, smash a like and subscribe. You know, I've seen on Liverpool put out on their Twitter today an article that Gravenberch is due to return for the Villa game, so hopefully that's a good sign. They haven't mentioned anything about Isak, and I think that's probably why Ekatike wasn't involved last night, because he's going to have to play the game, of course. So I don't really know. they've got some big games coming up. You know, when you go through it all, Villa at home's not going to be easy with that Emery because he's a snide fucker as well. And then you've got the rats coming back to Anfield. You know what I mean? Fucking hell.
I'm worried about that game. I'm worried about that Madrid. Well, I'm worried about all games, but that Madrid game, like, that is.
Yeah,
you know what it reminds me of at the minute?
As well.
Do you know what it reminds me of at the minute? Do you remember when obviously there was no fans at the time, but do you remember when Liverpool played City at Anfield and like we got ourselves back in the game and they hit us for a goal and our confidence just totally went? I think we're tithering on that now. I do feel like they're on the verge, Liverpool, if it carries on, of getting an absolute hiding off someone, and it could come in these next 3 games. Do you know what I mean? Because someone's going to catch us you can't just turn off bad form. Do you know what I mean? You've got to go out there and earn it. And I think a few players do look short of confidence. Whether or not a few of them, I think a couple of them may have looked like they've down-tooled a bit. Not all of them. Don't think he's fully lost the dressing room yet. But if it carries on, a few of them are just going to be like, no way. And then, as I say, you boys are right. It's how long does it last? How long do people give it? Liverpool can't be fucking losing games like this. Do you know what I mean? And I'll be honest, some of the teams we played who've beat us are fucking crap. Do you know what I mean? That's a
never be
bad
losing to
Man United as well. And
Yeah.
they were there to be beaten last night. I don't care what anyone says. You know, I was watching that game and fucking hell, even though we had a load of kids on there, we could have fucking wiped the floor if there was a few extra better players on the bench.
Do you know why they were shit though, Ben, last night? Because they looked at the starting lineup and they knew they didn't have to get out of second gear to beat that Liverpool team. You know?
Well, they would have seen the fucking team sheet and knew that Liverpool weren't even asked.
Exactly. They probably knew from looking at the team sheet, we've got this, you know? And it felt like they didn't get out of second gear last night.
I am just surprised, though, that the captain wasn't at least on the bench.
I'm surprised a few others went on a bench. It was madness to leave. Like, I understand resting players. I completely get it. We have got a schedule that is going to come thick and fast. We've got a Christmas period that is going to be tough. It always is. But you've got to have some resiliency to fall back on that bench in a game like this. And when I seen the bench, I just couldn't believe it. Like, I don't watch a lot of the academy. I got to be honest. I watch bits here and there, but there were some players who I'd never heard of. It was, and it's like, how if you go a goal down, and we said it in the group chat yesterday, didn't we, Ben? If you go a goal down, who'd you go to be that saviour off the bench? Like it was 17, 18-year-old kid.
And then got fucking sent off again straight away. Nalo.
This is it. This is the problem. It did feel like a game where it was just, I don't want to say we threw the game, but it felt like a game we was happy to just go out the competition.
I think that's what it felt like. Game before
I think we threw the game as well. Yeah, I think he just thought...
he wasn't asked to win that. That's the truth. And I hate saying that. That fucking pains me to say it. You know, when certainly people have paid good toll and fucking drove to go and see it. I've never seen Anfield starting to empty out. And I know there was rain close to the pitch, but that wasn't the only part where people were fucking leaving after about 69 minutes. And it's painful to see. You know, the one thing Slot could have done last night is he could have tried a bit better and fucking got some sort of good result. But I think what he's done is he's pissed a lot more fans off than you actually think.
This is how you lose the connection with fan base, and I think Ross made a point earlier when
if he doesn't take it serious, people are going to start turning on him, aren't they?
Exactly. And then one thing that Klopp did straight away, he tried to build a connection with the fan base. I remember West Brom, I think it was 2-2. We came back and we equalised. End of the game, he got every player in front of the Kop, and everyone's thinking, "Oh, you drew 2-2," but it started that connection with the fan base.
It showed that he gave a fuck, didn't it?
Exactly. You we're in this journey together. One thing people have said to me, you're acting mad here, Mo, but the fact that Slot doesn't live in Liverpool or his family is not here is kind of worrying for me as well.
But he comes across like he's always had his bags packed a bit, hasn't he?
Exactly. And
like I think he's fucking said, do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. Some people are like that, Mo, though, aren't they?
Well, he also comes across, he's like he only thinks about himself. Now, I don't think he understands Liverpool as a city yet, and what it means, and because you don't put a side out like that. You put some players on the bench at least. I think that move yesterday was calculated for his own beneficial, not for the club. He tried to buy himself the next 3 games by resting the side for a week. So, but he didn't think about Liverpool Football Club, in my opinion. He thought about himself, and that's what annoys me a little bit.
But it doesn't set a good precedent to the players out on the pitch, the senior ones as well, that they had to go out there and deal with all that shit. Look, I just want to quote Andy's comment here. He said, cheers for the comment, lad. He said, I would rather 3 points against Villa and lose Palace. Yeah, that's fair enough. Look, when I seen the team, I never expected us to win anyway. So obviously I understand the point. But, you know, fucking at the end of the day, we shouldn't be saying this. Liverpool fucking football club, lads. We should be beating these regardless. They're fucking crap then. Do you know what I mean? If we've lost 3 times in a row to this shite, give them guards of honesty, take the piss out of us, and it's not acceptable, lads. I just can't have it. But I do. Obviously, the 3 points at Villa is massive. But being in all competitions is fucking massive. We're pissing the Premier League up the wall. Fuck knows what'll happen with the Champions League, the way we're playing at the minute. We're going to find out this week anyway, next week, sorry. And fucking Palace was a fucking waste of time. They may as well have just said, fuck it, we're not going to that. Do you know what I mean? Fucking Ross, I wasn't there at the United game the other day because I've been sick. Were people leaving early?
I don't recollect like loads of people leaving early. I got to be honest. After that Gakpo missed header, I was just done. I just made my way to the car. I had to go because it was just a shocking performance. But I don't for the United game. I don't recollect a lot of people leaving early. But again, it was similar to what you said about last night, Mo. That the atmosphere for that game, just the crowd pick up on this just uneasiness, this uncertainty, and it's felt like that for a while now. And we'll probably go into the Villa game now. I'm sitting up in Kenny for Villa, and I can guarantee the atmosphere is going to be the same there because we don't know what Liverpool we're going to get when we turn up at Anfield at the minute. And there shouldn't be any excuse. When we play at Anfield, we have to perform. That's
no two ways of fucking round it, lads. This is not some fucking silly ass pitch, lad. This is fucking Anfield, mate.
This is it. And Mo made a good point about like the connection between Slot and the club. Like rival fans laugh at us and mock it, but there's something special about this club where it goes beyond football. It's more than a club. It's the link with the city. It's being kind of, you come into the club and you're supposed to be intertwined with the club, the city, the people, everything about it. And I agree with you, Mo. I think it lacked, Arne Slot does lack that.
Could any of you two give me the name of Slot's missus? I know it doesn't matter. I'm just wondering.
Well, yeah, I haven't got a clue. I gotta be honest.
We knew about Ulla because she'd get involved with the community. She'd go and do charity stuff. She'd get it. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know.
The difference is, mate, he comes across a little. He's a nice fella, of course he is. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying he's a fucking, a dickhead or anything, but no, he is a nice fella. But I think at the minute he just stinks of a fella of major pressure. People can say all he wants, but I think last night he held his cards close to his chest and thought, I'm not going to cave to these fans, showing them that I am under pressure by playing better players, which for me, that shows you just cowered away.
But just a quick point on that. Like I think he is under pressure, and the way I would manage that, or the way I come to that, is last season we praised him for his in-game management, and the first half would be quiet. He'd do a couple of tweaks, come out flying, and we think, oh, this guy's good. This guy's a tactician. The difference between last year and this year, when we go a goal down, instead of sticking to the tactics, he's panicking. The tactics got the window. We go. He's
got no fucking tactics. Has he?
We go to like 2, 4, 5 up front. There's no structure. There's no belief in what he sent out. Because as soon as we go a goal down, he changes that belief and he goes, right, let's go 4-2-4. And that's the worrying thing about me. He's panicking under the pressure he's in at the moment.
Do you know what? I'll go through a few of the comments because I've got a few questions here. Ross, do you think Calvin Ramsey will feature in some of the Premier League games?
So I know there was some comments about whether he's eligible or not. I don't know the full background of it. So, but in terms of his performance last night, I thought he was pretty good. Do you know what I mean?
He looked good in the first half, didn't he?
Yeah. I think it's a good option to have. Whether he's eligible is another question. But I'm all for having players coming in and playing well. That's all I want. Whether it's Ramsey, whether it's Frimpong or Bradley, whoever it is. Just come on the pitch and give it your all. That's all we want as fans. But if Ramsey can get up to speed, because let's be honest, we signed him and there was a lot of noise around him. Let's be honest.
He's just been hammered by injuries, hasn't
Yeah, it's a shame, really. You know, I think he's been on loan a few times. I think he went back to Scotland on loan, didn't he? But you know, if he can get up to speed and stay injury free, why not throw another player in who wants to give their all out there? Do you know what I mean?
Of course, he was one of the ones that stood up and tried to have a go. Mo, do you think the 3-4-3 shows some signs of promise, and will it work for the first 11? Because ultimately, that's what matters, isn't it?
Well, big shout out to Ricky. This guy's called Ricky. He's from Cardiff. He goes to every game with me. So we've done the last 4 years going up driving up and down from Cardiff or wherever we are. So he got back again at 3 o'clock in the morning and
get some coffee down, you lad.
Yeah, well, we basically on the phone driving to each other. He goes to Cardiff, I go to Portsmouth, and he brought the set.
The same car.
But yeah, he's like, and I said to him on this. Yes, I think it shows promise, but why do it now with the kids? Do it. I want to see it with our first team 11. You know, we didn't learn anything last night from 3-4-3 with that lineup. So I need to see it with our proper 11 to give you a proper answer to that.
Do you know, I want to answer this one. So Andy's just saying, again, cheers for the comments. And shout out to everyone as well. He's probably already booked his Ibiza holiday. Lad. Probably has, lads. He's probably booked a little sesh with fucking Wayne Lineker in the boot again, lads. With his little fucking signposts. Don't get me going. But Andy's saying, Slot will be judged on how he does in Prem and Champions League. For me, you're judged on every game. Doesn't fucking matter which game it is. You're representing Liverpool as a brand, and this is more than a club. Jurgen Klopp will tell you that. And do you know what, right? He mentioned something in his documentary with Stephen Bartlett. He said it's losing games is where you learn. Well, we're learning fuck all from the manager at the minute.
He's not learning from losing, is he?
He's not learning from it. Do you know what I mean? If anything, we're getting worse. Do you know what I mean? He's not showing. This is the question I want to finish on. And I want everyone... yeah, there you go. I want to honesty now. No fucking hiding from it, because as you say on this podcast, we'll be honest. I'm going to put you first, Ross, because you've hardly been on here recently. Do you think he turns it around? Honestly, now, no fucking bollocks.
My heart is saying I think he can, but my head is saying I can't see a way out of it now. I can't see the positivity, and especially with the next few games we've got coming up. I said in the group chat this morning to you all, as the weeks go on, I'm slowly down to a point where it's like, will he have to go? And that scares the shit out of me, because I don't know who we go out and get to replace him. People mention the Bournemouth manager, but is he experienced at a top level to deal with it? You know, and to be fair, it's mad that we're even asking that question considering the season we just had. But from my opinion, I can't see it at the minute, if I'm honest, Ben. I
understand it from both. That he doesn't turn it around and people saying he does. Do you know what I mean? Of course, we all want him to fucking turn it around. Liverpool Football Club, I'll be honest, I don't, you know, we need to be winners. I want to see us going back to back. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see us fucking win one, go to shit. A few years later, win one, go to shit.
Yeah.
Pierce, I'll be honest with myself. Mo, actually, you go first. Do you think he turns it around?
Same with Ross, I think. My heart wants him to turn it around, but my head realistically thinking the hole's too deep now, and he added to digging that hole last night, in my opinion. Like, you know, just putting more pressure on himself and the players for this weekend. I want him to turn it around, I really do, because we're Liverpool Football Club, but I think he's panicking, and that's showing. So, and the next two games for me will really tell us, in my opinion, if any of those players have down tools or not. So, because if you can't get yourself up for Villa and Madrid and then Man City, then do you know what I mean? Then you're fucked. Then so it'll really tell me if actually some of these players have down tools for him or not.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I'm struggling to see any signs that he turns it around. Look, he done well last year, right? But I think he left a lot of the team as it was until about February. We've been shit since February. Don't care what anyone says. The football's been boring. And I think you lose people's interest a bit more watching the game and like paying, you know, if your football's shit, Klopp used to say, you need to play beautiful football, especially at a club like Liverpool, because you're taking people who could be having shit times at home and giving them 90 minutes of something. And he even said to Stephen Bartlett, he said, like, I can't understand why teams hold back. You've got 90 minutes. Go all out. I look at Liverpool and I feel like they're holding back a bit. Do you know what I mean? They'll have bits where they're doing really well, and then they just take the foot off the gas. Why? Because I just think like they look like a team that's hardly training as much this year. Do you know what I mean? I think they look unfit. And it's a shame.
We look gassed by everyone, mind, don't we? Like every game we've played
Everyone
recently,
look like they run all over us.
It's like the other team has just got this unreal energy that they're just chasing everything. It's really weird. It's sad. It is sad because all of us have been through this massive success.
Do you know
and now
what?
we're watching this.
Carl just said he's turning into Ange. We look like an Ange team at the minute.
I call him the Dutch Ange. that's my nickname for him.
Look, I'm like you. I want him to turn it round. He's a nice fella, but fucking being nice gets you nowhere. Hence why some of our players who are too nice get fucking nowhere at the minute. So it's time the club and the players fucking step up, and most importantly, the manager. If he doesn't, unfortunately, then you're not good enough to be the manager of Liverpool. And that's what I'm saying. You can't just be judged on 2 fucking comps. You're judged on everything. Everything. He's getting now judged on everything, isn't he? What he says, and he's chatting absolute bollocks at the minute. You know, he's talking about like, well, City had some of these players, blah, blah, blah. Mate, you could have picked a fucking better squad. Do you know what I mean? Fucking talk about them. Anyway, look, at the minute, I struggle to see him turn it down because I think it's going to get a bit worse before it gets good. We've a lot of changes. It takes time to fucking get the fucking players going. But at the end of the day, before you know it, it could be fucking 10 fucking defeats in 11. Do you know what I mean? For me, that's not good enough. By the time he potentially could sort it out, he may not be the man in the job.
So, Ben, can I ask you then, do you think he's got until, in your opinion, is it up until this next international break?
Look, for me, I'll be honest, like, I know some of the names of managers and shit. It all depends on fucking, obviously, results and who is out there. Some of the names don't get me excited. Look, I'll be honest. If Luis Enrique, I'm not saying this ever happens. I'm just
he's the only one I want, Luis Enrique.
If he said he'd join Liverpool, I'd get rid of Slot today.
But Enrique won't come mid-season. He'll potentially come end of the season. But what's the stopgap between if hypothetically Slot loses his next 3 and they make a change? Do we get a stopgap into the end of the season? Could that be?
I don't think we would.
Don't even get stopgap players. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think they would. They'd keep him till the end of the season. If they was going to replace him, you know, I think they'd see it through to the end of the season. Because the thing is, take away from a fan perspective, the fact of us winning games and so on. From a commercial perspective, missing out on Champions League would be huge. That would be, you know, especially with the outlay we've just spent.
My worry, Ross, is will he do what Ange did last year? As in, oh shit, I'm losing grip of this league or even top 4. However, I'm progressed in the Champions League. I'm going to go all in for this Champions League and try and win it.
You're going to have to do something if it fucking keeps getting worse in the league, isn't it?
The thing is, the Champions League's a different beast to what, you know, Spurs were dealing with. What was it, Europa?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
You know, I don't think you can ever bank on winning the Champions League and throwing it. You can throw everything at it, absolutely, but you'll either look like an absolute arse or a hero. Do you know what I mean? So,
Dick saying that City, Ben, would that be a good night? I think he'd probably stay a bit longer. I think they'd be looking maybe December time, personally, because they've got to start. Don't be surprised if they'll have contingency plans. The club won't they? They've got to. But they'll be probably speaking to a few intermediaries saying, well, was he fancy it potentially if something went wrong, blah, blah, blah. But for me, right, I'll be honest, let's say the manager was to go. It cannot be a manager that's fucking lower than the players. I really can't. For me, the proof's in the pudding. We were like that for years until we got a Jurgen Klopp in who became bigger than all the players. The players were fucking petrified to piss Klopp off. And I think someone like a Luis Enrique would be the only one to do it for me. I don't know if I fancy all the Mariolas and all that sort of stuff. I think it'd be the similar sort of thing. You know, you've got to demand big respect. And some of our players are monster superstars. Do you know what I mean?
We're even having this conversation. We never thought we had this conversation.
This is fucking it. This
we
is
went
it.
into the season.
Makes me feel sick, lad.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
am obsessed with this football club, lads. I go home, away, Europe, all the time, spending thousands. And I can't believe it. We've had the highs. We seem to go through the lowest of lows, and then fucking this fucking form goes on. I just can't believe it's going like this. And Liverpool, the only club that could spend 450 million and go fucking shite. How does that happen? Do you know what I mean?
Make it make sense, make it make sense.
When you got fucking San Marino taking the piss, Who the fuck is San Marino? Honest to God, lad, I fucking swear. Started podcast, I feel like just fucking lashing the fucking computer. Last one before we go. Go on, Ross, you can go.
No, I don't think he is losing the dressing room, and I think that the club we've got, we're very much all together. Whether he loses the dressing room in the next couple of games is another question.
Well,
I don't
that's a
know.
different scenario, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I don't think he's lost it at the minute. No, I think everyone's trying to get it right, but it's just not working. And I've gone past excuses about why it's not working. We're just bad at the minute. That's the fact of it. So no, I don't think he's lost the dressing room at the minute.
I think a few players are questioning him no more.
Oh, 100%. And like I said earlier,
You have to be. You have to be. Well, it's just on the back of two of the most recent big substitutions in the games. Chelsea, the Endo one for Macher, and then the other day you bring fucking Waits off for Gomez. How would you not question that?
Yeah, exactly. Even as the 2 or 3 senior players last night, Robbo, Kirkes, Mac, they're probably thinking, why have you put me in this situation? Like, why have you set me up to fail? Like, do you mean?
Do you look at the players behind him, fucking getting drenched with fucking the hoods up? They must be like, this is like torture watching this shit.
Yeah.
Do you think Verge would allow it though, boys? This is where I don't think he's lost the dressing room, because I don't think Verge would allow it. I think Verge would keep those players in check.
Well, to be honest, mate, his fucking form's questionable at the minute as well. Isn't it?
He's part of the problem as well. That's
But I think where I feel sorry for Verge is that he can't get this system that fucking the manager keeps saying to, because he doesn't know whether to come or go. And you've seen it against Mbeumo. He tried to go in and then fucking Ahmad's running behind him, and he's probably just like, this is a fucking...
And that's how you lose the players. If the players don't buy into your system, then that's how you lose it. And we don't even know what if fans don't even know what our system is, then how do the players know what the system is? And that system changes about 5 times in games now, you know? So it's just confusing all the time.
Yeah. Inzaghi, not for me.
No,
of the
not
style,
for me.
But,
Didn't he get ruled out in the summer as well? I think style of play and
yeah, Liverpool want to be playing attractive attacking football, but at the minute it's fucking dross, and the Manx back and stuff. I'm sure they are the fucking horrible bastards.
That's it. That we've given them confidence, like Ross said. It's our fault. That is.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Before we go, I did see a stat. I don't know whether it's true or not. I can't tell at the minute what the fuck is on that Twitter, but apparently in our last 30 games we've lost 12 and drew 2. That's not good enough.
I've seen that as well. Yeah, it's
bad
bad form. It's bad form.
Yeah, fucking, it's one of them. But look, we'll wrap it up. Fucking hell, lad, this Liverpool team are going to take years off my life, these fuckers, do you know? Do you know what I mean? Honest to God, lad.
I keep just for men in business, you know, because my beard's normally white.
Honest to fuck, lads. I'll be as grey as fuck by the end of today. Stressed out me fucking mind. But we're going to be back later. I've got a Scouts therapy show joined by like Adam. I think Scouts Mo may be on it. I know he's a little bit busy, but a mate of mine, Greg, who we'll go to the match with as well. So we're going to go through some of the ticket and stuff. Have a little chat on that. So it should be interesting. But Reds, try and keep your head up. Try and not get wound up with all them gobshites on Twitter. And at the end of the day, we are the Reds, and hopefully we start winning. But we'll see you later. Up the fucking Reds.